Hey, welcome to NOCLIP,
guys.
No, terrible, awful.
Welcome to NOCLIP. I'm Chad Ruthermond.
I'm JJ Artemis.
And I'm Andy Kinnick.
And today, they're making me talk very seriously, even though the thing that I'm introducing is just cut garbage.
I'm not trying to make you talk seriously. It's just you went right into that off of some nonsense conversation. I mean, it didn't feel right.
There's an argument to be made that like the majority of what we do is nonsense conversation.
Yeah, but you didn't give it enough of a pause, man.
Yeah, I didn't have enough gravitas.
Yeah. You've got to respect what we're doing here.
All right.
Yeah, Chad, I take offense to that.
Like the audience will respect what we've done here when we show them what we have done in a few short seconds.
Yeah.
Seconds.
Just a couple of seconds. I think if your argument is that we are a shit podcast,
I believe.
Yeah, a bad podcast, then this episode will probably strengthen your argument. However, I'd like to pose the counter argument that after you listen to this stuff, you'll go, "Oh man, they actually managed to make a pretty good podcast out of all the fucking garbage that they had to work with," which I'm okay with. That sounds like a good review. Review us on iTunes. Leave a 5-star rating. Anybody have anything you want to say before I jump into it?
Not really. I hope there isn't anything too embarrassing in there. There usually is at least one thing. Yeah. That I wish I wouldn't have said.
I feel like I really want to record like 15 minutes of us talking about iced coffee because I don't
God damn it.
That there's like we haven't concluded the trilogy.
I still maintain that you should have cut that down. Like that goes way too long in the first 1 year of NOCLIP episode.
Maybe we can have the meta argument.
It's such a long conversation.
It is a very.
It's
long.
like 10 full minutes.
It's pretty long. I didn't know what I was doing on that.
Yeah,
one.
I know. I'm not trying to give you shit. I'm just saying hindsight should have cut that.
Yeah. We live and learn here
at
the NOCLIP podcast, and you'll see the things that we have learned soon because we deemed all of what you're about to hear unacceptable.
Yeah, we are about to give you shit, and here it is.
Goodbye, air conditioner.
No, don't go. Air conditioner.
Temperature is unreasonable.
It might be a little bit excessively sexy, but what are you gonna do?
Complain?
Jerk out.
Oh, your damn jokes made me lose it completely. It's gone.
Okay.
You and your japes.
I want to talk about what elite gamer I am in the second half.
You already got that out of the way,
You're
I think.
a pro elite gamer, Chad.
When I was a kid, I used to sleep in an oven.
In the oven?
In an actual oven?
The witch's cottage from Hansel and Gretel? Is that where you lived?
No. I had an electric blanket that I would keep on maximum heat literally all the time, whether I was home or not. So that way when I got into bed, it would be like getting into bed in the hottest possible
fire
scenario.
hazard.
I'm possibly...
Leaving it on all the... Yeah, it's definitely a fire hazard.
I feel like
on the highest setting all
highest
the time.
Yeah. Well, your hazard from fire from an electric blanket is an electrical fire, not the highest setting being so hot that it
Right,
busts.
no, but you're putting it at the highest setting. It's the maximum amount of electricity.
This is already a good one for 1 year from now.
You gotta stop saying
NOCLIP.
this. You gotta stop it. You gotta resist the urge to reference the fact that it's gonna be on the podcast.
We won't remember it, though.
It's true, and it's funnier because, I mean, the last time only one of them got in, so...
Sure. But either way, I guess leaving it on for 2 consecutive years all the time at the maximum setting might be a fire hazard.
Yes.
But it was totally worth it because I would get in like the most comfortable like sauna environment as soon as I would sleep in.
That's not comfortable.
And I would pull it all over my head and like I'd create when I was a kid I had a bunch of pillows because my bed was way too big for me. So I would like make a little like tent shape out of 2 pillows and like drape it over, and it would heat up to like 100 degrees, and I would wake up just like drenched in sweat, like top to bottom.
Yeah. You liked that?
I do not do it now, just for reference. It is something that I do realize in retrospect is insane and not comfortable. I forget why I stopped.
I was thinking that you like had an air conditioner or something.
No,
Like
you stopped when you realized that Miyazaki, the Dark Souls developer, showed up to your house, looked at you, and was like, "This is what the hollows are gonna look like," because all of your skin just turned into like thick hot dog brown, like meaty, cracked up garbage skin.
I'm not being cooked.
I think you were being. I think you were. I think definitionally you were cooking yourself because you put yourself in a ludicrously hot environment with presumably very little air.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I'm not like taping the blankets closed.
You basically made a pillow fort around yourself and also put yourself in a toaster oven.
True. But yeah,
carbon monoxide film.
My dad was really worried about me, but would never stop it because it was the only way I go to bed. But he tells me in retrospect that like I thought I might have been hurting myself.
You could be like dehydrating yourself by sweating into and then you were sleeping in your old like gross sweat in the blanket.
Yeah.
I imagine since he was aware of this, he would clean my sheets far more often than was what a normal
you were
person.
probably getting a lot less oxygen too while you slept.
Probably like what was happening is because you had it on the highest setting at all times.
Yeah.
You would sweat into the electric blanket, which would then pool up, and then you would get out of it, and then it would evaporate, and then you would just be sliding into like a salt mine every day.
All right.
Welcome back from the break. I hate you.
What's a vulgar thing I can do to match the two vulgar things that just happened?
No, keep opening the door and letting all the cold out.
I don't have a fart to like just shoot off on camera to complete the trifecta.
Okay, all right. I take issue with a number of things that you said.
Yes.
I don't have a fart. Is not like that doesn't make sense.
It makes perfect sense.
That doesn't make sense.
You can't do it on command.
You
Ever.
also can't have a fart.
Yes, you can.
How do you?
It's in your body. You produce it in the most literal sense possible.
The fart is not a thing that, like, you don't have like a container of farts that is your body.
Yes,
your
you
body
do.
emits gas,
Shut
and
up.
when you emit the gas, it becomes a fart.
Yes.
It's not a fart when it's in you, and therefore
It's
you
just
cannot
methane.
you cannot have a fart.
No. I am not
You can
accepting
have
this
two farts.
bullshit lava magma distinction.
This is not a lava magma distinction. It's like a how do I like a lake bottle of water distinction.
What?
Whereas like the lake, your body is just a lot of water in a container.
I am more than a lot of farts in a container.
I agree, somewhat at least. But the important distinction here is that the fart is not a fart when it's inside of you.
But the water is still water when it's in the lake or when it's
Exactly.
in the bottle of water.
True, but you classify it as a lake, which is a lot of water just there, and the other one is a beverage.
I think the lava magma thing is the
closest.
the closer.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is a fart refers to like the act of passing gas.
Right, and not
You
the
cannot
gas itself.
have an act. Like
No.
you cannot have that.
the
You cannot
action,
possess it.
The action version is the ing version. It's farting. It's the activity.
No, fart itself is a verb. It's not a noun. I guess it could be a noun, like
A fart.
I
Like-
kind of agree with Chad, I guess, but I think this argument is dumb and stupid. Both sides had some good points.
Thank you for being the moderating force in our lives, Andy Koenig.
But let's not have this debate anymore.
Truly sage wisdom and advice.
All right, Chad, you look up the information.
Nope. I sure did not. Nor will I ever get bent. Hold on, I look at my GSTP, my Ghost speech translator pack out.
Oh, that's your Sweet Tunes translation device. Please go get your device.
It was my
Isn't that the Bikini Bottom #1 hit single, Electric Zoo?
No, that goes beep beep boop bop.
Not beep beep boop beep.
Yeah. Alright, let me actually get the right device out. Alright, let's play it back through the extra sonar device. Speech translator, ghost, etc. And said yes.
Alright.
What was the question?
Let's take a break.
Alright.
Professionalistic podcasting is something that I've never been a fan of.
Yeah, but it exists.
What does that mean?
It means like NPR podcasts. Podcasts
like-
where you can tell everyone's there to do a job instead of to do whatever they want.
Yeah, it feels more like the news.
Yes.
I like those a lot, but
It's just like talk radio.
yeah,
I
like
feel
it's just
at
because I
that
like
point.
talk radio.
I hate talk radio.
Like, when More Perfect, which is a show about the Supreme Court, came back for a second season, I was like, hell yeah! And everyone was like, what are you so excited about? Like, I'm gonna listen to some fucking court cases up in here. But like when you're... I don't think
You didn't stick the landing.
I can go
The coach
through
is
that.
running onto the field.
It's alright, we can edit it like we did stick.
Oh yeah, we could. I could include that in the podcast.
You were there when that like started, right?
I was there when it
That
started.
like old woman kept telling us to stretch our deltoids.
Yes, I
Okay.
was. Yeah.
Good.
There was an interesting woman.
And
Yeah?
a swim meet.
Okay,
Yeah.
this makes more sense.
With some
It
nice
was like
wet
me
men.
and some nice wet boys.
old woman.
I think she was timing like one of the
Events.
yeah.
Paying real close attention.
But yeah, she kept telling us to stretch our deltoids, and we just would then always say it.
Oh, okay.
At the time,
whenever we like would go up to the blocks to do whatever event that was, we'd always be like, stretch your deltoids.
Stretch deltoids. You gotta stretch them delts. You gotta ask them D's.
Did any of us at the...
She just wanted us to S our own D's.
And we're gonna discover whether or not that's the case during this sound test. That wasn't the sound test.
I
That was
guessed.
far too loud. Guess what I didn't do?
Look up the information.
Here, right? That's the
Classic Chad. As much as I'm enjoying this conversation,
we should
let's stop
having
it. Classic me.
Classic Andy.
What nationality is Dijon mustard?
Shut up. Let's do the podcast. Or is it? It's not just a mint. It's a Tic Tac.
I'm not sure, actually.
I don't remember.
It's not a mint, it's a Tic Tac is like weirdly aggressive.
It's not
It's
a
not
mint.
a mint.
It's a Tic Tac.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Chad. It disappoints me that you buy winter mint Tic Tacs.
I don't. But I'd like to point out now that we've all committed to this Tic Tac that the back of this says Best Buy May 2015.
Damn it.
Your 2.5-year-old Tic Tac. They seem fine to me.
Yeah.
Don't challenge me. I can fuck this up even worse. The Cat Lady is a hip hop platformer. But for a lot of this, you know what? Fuck, god damn it! How the hell are we gonna get out of this? how the Duke boys gonna get out of this pickle?
All right.
Okay.
Another one in the books.
Another one bites the dust.
Another one.
Another Jack in the Box.
Another one.
Another one.
Welcome to NOCLIP. I'm Chad Roderman.
Oh, how are we doing this?
God damn it!
Please.
Sing into the microphone.
Please. Give us a Christmas carol. A carol.
A Carol.
A
Give us a
Corral.
Lewis Carroll.
I'll give you a Lewis Carroll.
Lewis Carroll. Oh, that sounds bad because he might have been a pedophile.
Oh, yeah, well.
Doing the
I mean,
Lewis.
who
Who
isn't
isn't these
really?
days?
Yeah.
Well, that's
If somebody walked in on me listening to the Painkiller soundtrack, I feel like I would just put a bullet through my head immediately because it's that embarrassingly macho. Like, it's just like, like super ridiculous.
Is that like a tiny speaker that you've got?
That's a shred.
Oh, so it's
Power
not.
shred.
So that meant shredding is in like documents,
Not
not as in,
shredding
like,
is in like a guitar.
Yeah.
You gotta say some words.
Words.
I didn't say harmonize.
Do Tic Tacs that are of sugary flavors count as a mint?
It's not a mint. It's a Tic Tac.
You just got styled on.
I do have a experimental original bottle of like Halo 3 game fuel.
Oh, that's true.
On my shelf. Mm-hmm. But I would like to differentiate the reason I keep that bottle from pure collecting, which is it is a wonderful chance to experience what will happen to an unopened soda bottle if it's not refrigerated or like kept safe from the elements in any way over the course of decades. And it has so far produced actually interesting results. So I stand by the decision.
That's true. And also,
What is the current state of the bottle? Give a State of the Union
Indeed.
address on that game fuel.
Yes. 2018's Game Fuel State of the Union is so far the liquid, in really terrifyingly, has remained entirely unchanged. There's no, if I look up photographs of old, back in the day bottles of game fuel, the color and consistency seems entirely the same. But the container is the point of interest. Because apparently if you take like an old style Mountain Dew bottle, I don't know if there's a name for the shape. It's not really cylindrical. They're like the way that all soda bottles are, where they have like two weird bulbous parts and like a cylindrical hand grip. That part has now slowly morphed from a cylinder into like a pyramid shape. Like it has like three distinct sides. It like the internal pressure is slowly turning the shape of this bottle into a strange pyramid thing, like a toy that a child would play with and put through, like to learn what shapes are.
Right.
Yeah, it's that. And I'm curious if the structural integrity of the bottle will ever finally fail and then just ruin everything below it because it's like on top of a very high shelf and might rain game fuel upon all of my possessions.
I mean, that is possible.
Yeah.
That the bottle could just be destroyed, and then game fuel would be everywhere.
Game fuel is already everywhere.
Then
Jack.
you can find out what happens when decades-old game fuel soaks into personal belongings.
Welcome to the Game Fuel podcast.
I feel like if Google truly knew everything about me, they would send me Taco Bell ads all the time. Because I can't resist the call of the bell.
You want that steak volcano queso macharito from Taco Bell?
The bell tolls for Chad.
For whom does the bell toll? It tolls for Chad. And the cheesy gordita crush.
She does know the context behind it?
The fact that it's the amiibo.
That
and
is like,
it has this dumb face.
like the enormous like piss butt gulching.
Oh yeah, that big shaft.
Yeah.
Piss butt gulching.
Welcome to NOCLIP.
Today we're talking about piss butt gulching.
I feel like that was the most exciting way we could have ended that segment.
It'll keep people listening, too.
Indeed, yeah.
Everybody likes butts.
Yeah. Just
Quick question about that.
about Kylo Ren.
No, about that planet.
Yeah.
The red stuff is the salt, right? And it was covered in snow.
No.
Oh, no, because
No.
the guy picks up some of the white stuff.
And he's like, salt?
He's like, oh,
okay,
salt.
so, yeah, my interpretation was the red stuff was the salt, and then it was covered in snow.
When is salt red?
It's
fucking Star Wars.
It's an alien planet, JJ.
But they literally
have red salt.
Yeah.
they didn't say it's red salt. They literally were just like, this is salt.
Yeah, because you don't see red salt.
But they didn't. No. If you're in a movie and you're just Chad, hostile takeover of the podcast.
Well, then what was the red stuff? Was it just like dirt?
It was just alien shit. But they didn't have to explain.
It was alien shit. That's what it was. It was a normal planet, a bunch of alien shit all over it, and then they covered it in salt, like a janitor covers vomit with sawdust.
No, what?
It keeps it from smelling bad.
I know. It took me a second. I got it in reverse for a second. I thought the janitor was covering sawdust with vomit. And then I had to...
He's covering salt with vomit.
Whatever. I had to process. Now, back to this salt.
Yes.
The whole thing that Star Wars pioneered from a movie-going perspective is that when you have alien shit on the screen, you don't have to explain it ever.
Yeah.
So the fact that Star Wars stopped for a second and was like, this is salt, a thing that is normal and that you understand, is completely against the normal grain of that, and is designed specifically to make you understand that it's a thing that you know. In this case, so that you knew that it wasn't snow. That's why that scene is there. So they could be like, this isn't snow, this is salt, another thing that you're aware of.
I guess that makes sense.
What would be cool is if they didn't do that, though.
Yeah.
And just didn't bother.
Fair.
Cut that guy out. Should we talk about it again?
Maybe we should talk about fax machines.
Rob Tiger Rubin. He's like a fat white man.
Okay.
Who gave really fantastic paintball advice in 1997. And you can find his 120p Terabad flash videos on the internet. If you dig way too far.
Is that the Game Boy Micro resolution?
Yeah,
120p.
But they're really good, and I bought one of his hats on eBay 5 years ago.
Awesome.
I've got that the Southern Kingfish Association hat.
Yeah. The ska hat.
Yeah, it just says ska on it. With a
picture of a fish with a mask. So or a kingfish.
I guess it's a kingfish.
A southern kingfish.
Where did you find that anyway?
I found a website for the Southern Kingfish Association.
That's what we want to know. Yeah. How did you find the Southern Kingfish Association?
That's a good question. I don't remember. I like to imagine that, to everyone else, that I just Googled ska and was like, what happened?
You just Googled ska hat? You're like, I really want a ska hat.
I can't recall. Either way, the interesting part of the story is actually less how I discovered the Southern Kingfish Association and more how I had to go about getting that hat. Because being the Southern Kingfish Association, they didn't have an online order form. You had to print out an order form, fill it out, and fax it.
Oh!
So I faxed it from work, and they mailed me a hat. I was like, man, this is some old school good shit. And this is 2014 or something. Come on, Southern Kingfish Association, get with the times.
At least no one can possibly object to our...
Possibly object.
I like words. At least no one can possibly object to our...
Yeah, close the door. Before you sit down.
Also, he said eject that time.
That's why I gave up.
We're glad that our toilet could be of service to you. Oh, no.
That is unbelievable. The chair rolled across the bed and landed upon the floor.
Yes, Chad, that is unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. Chairs, if I were to name shapes that I thought would roll, chair-shaped is not one of them.
But what about pear-shaped?
What about apple-bottom jeans?
And the boots with the fur.
With the fur.
Have the kids forgotten about that one yet? Is that like an old time classic yet?
I'm not.
I don't know if it's an old time classic.
There's a surprising amount of. I need to get that out. Can we have an official NOCLIP break whistle? Is it like, I assume break whistles are very cheap these days because only like horrible autocrats would ever use them.
You're talking about like in the cartoons where like a whistle that looked like an upset face would like grow large and be like "Brrr," and then come back.
Yeah, but specifically I'm talking about the things those were joking about and referencing, because those did exist in the 40s. Cartoons just didn't like create the weird stereotype that whistles
You're
were
thinking
used.
of like a train whistle.
Kinda, yeah.
But they are like train whistles.
Yeah, but like they would use them like if you. For some reason, I'm thinking like working in like a coal mine or something, like where you
Right.
needed to like alert everyone that it's lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you
You
were
would blow the whistle.
Right. Or if you were the composer for Super Mario 64.
Right.
Then you would need a train whistle as well. That's the ghost that lives in the house.
Oh.
He likes to stomp around during the
Good.
day sometimes.
Good. The pod ghost. Me and Rachel sat down and watched the Aristocats. Do you remember that?
I of course I do.
I've never seen it, but I'm aware of it.
Okay. It's a normal, like, old-style Disney film through its totality of its runtime. Pretty art, normal adventures, very short, like all these older animated films used to be. But there's one scene near the end where it's like everybody wants to be a cat, and that's the music
okay,
scene.
yeah.
And for 1 second, they just had this.
Oh, now I know what you're talking about. I was trying to think, but now I remember. Yes.
It's just like the most racist depiction of a Chinese person possible as a cat. He's like, it literally comes in as like ching chong and like
you have to watch the clip.
and then it just leaves.
It can't be
and
described.
It never comes back, and me and Rachel and they were just like, whoa, Jesus.
That's a Disney movie, right?
Yeah, we had to like pause it and like stop for a second because it came out swinging that hard. We were watching the most wholesome thing possible. And then we just had like the reality of internment camps just like flown into our faces.
Well, I gotta get these receipts out of my pocket. You're gonna be crinkling all over this podcast. Man, thanks to you.
Yes.
Not you.
Oh.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I would have slapped it exactly how you're supposed to slap keyboards to make them make noise.
Thank you for listening to NOCLIP this week. Hey, I've done this 68 times. You're actually like losing.
Yes, losing is a thing that I do.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So
I have whatever the WarioWare version of affluenza is.
Alright, this is cast content.
Yeah.
Stop.
I'm gonna repeat that joke. Everybody laugh again. Remember.
Okay.
Chris Perkins is it used to be the most famous. At this point, probably the second most famous dungeon master in the world. He's he's like the head like adventure design guy at Wizards of the Coast, and he's written most of the books that you know.
Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter,
To Kill a Mockingbird. The list goes on.
What's that glass? That's Sloppy Joe's glass.
It's like a brewery and a distillery in Tennessee.
You said that, and I just imagined a glass full of Sloppy Joe.
What's that glass full of Sloppy Joe doing on your mantle? It's like it's decorative. It attracts the rarest flies in the state. And I mix them into my cereal bowl in the morning.
With your Super Mario
In
cereal.
my Super Mario cereal, which has also been sitting there for months, collecting the rarest scarab beetles
And dust.
and dust. When you mix it with water, it turns into a soup that has the exact
Called cereal.
cereal that has the correct mix of crunch and uncomfortable viscosity.
Only the purest sloppiness allowed in the cereal.
So when you mix in the Sloppy Joe and the flies
In the glass.
and then you put the glass inside of a blood bag and you just intravenously feed it into your body. And that's how I became immortal.
You mean an IV bag?
Yeah.
Do you like experiencing feeling?
Do you like experiencing
Do you
feelings?
like experiencing feel? Cut it. Get it out. Do you like experiencing? No.
Until next time, you know. Welcome back to the podcast where we're talking about Majora's Mask. Haha. How about them masks?
No. Bad. You opened on a weird non-committal note that was like, "Are we talking about Majora's Mask?" And then you were like, "Oh, but yeah, masks."
Am I in the right episode?
My time control powers have gone haywire, and we might be talking about Majora's Mask 2, which releases in 2020.
2000 and 2020.
It's really far in the future. It's okay, we invented immortality long before that.
What happened to the old mic?
Nothing happened to the old mic, but because you're going to be so far away, we decided I might try to record remotely at some point.
Oh my
So I'm
god.
going to bequeath the NOCLIP Classic to you. Days, months, years. Always face it forward.
Oh, let's go put on that AC.
Yeah.
Or get out of this room.
We ended right at 420.
Fuck yeah, Blaze.
Blaze it.
Blaze that AC.
Just pick one.
Yeah. Because I'm okay with any of the ones I laid out there.
Okay.
If you're just going to pick Kirby.
Got him.
I feel like that's too similar to Mario. I should have said we should save that one for later. Tilt and Tumble would be okay.
All right. Now I'm. Oh wow! I am just those
27.
fat clouds.
27.
Just
All right. I'll
Gotta rip them fast
talking with both.
just
mics.
ripping fat sound clouds.
I think that we are stupid and we should take a break.
He asked, should I wear some condoms? Just put some on.
Some condoms.
Yeah, is that how this works?
I've wrapped 3 condoms around my dick. I'm not 100% sure if this is correct. I say into a microphone. Good.
All right, now where do I put my balls at? What was the argument about?
Whether or not we should continue talking about Hotel Transylvania 3.
And that ended with screaming at each other.
Whoever's answer was no was the correct one, and I feel like it was Rachel.
Yeah, you're correct, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I have such insights.
Now she has documented evidence that she won that argument.
She does, yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Nice to see you all.
I'm the old lady from Fire Emblem again.
The only old lady voice that's allowed on this podcast now. Completely taken all of the thematic space from old lady voices. I actually Googled Chip Challenge for the first time while writing
It's
that.
in your Steam
Yeah,
library.
did you know that you own it?
No.
I
Chad bought it for both of us for Christmas. Like
Both
2
Challenge
years
and
ago.
its sequel.
Wait, I don't
It was
believe
this year.
I
Okay,
genuinely
last year.
I genuinely don't believe that.
Go check your fucking Steam library.
Yeah.
What? Okay. All right. Because I have just like Chad, I have a Steam library sorting thing all set up. So anything that has not been sorted automatically
We'll just drop into the games category.
just goes all the way to the bottom. Yeah. And there's only 3 things there, and it's Pyre, No Man's Sky, and I forget the third thing right now, but it's not Chip's Challenge because that would have been confusing.
Challenge?
Have you checked? Hold on.
Maybe it's just was like in his
like gift
box,
notifications
and
box
he's never
didn't
clicked
look
on
at
it.
Is that possible?
I don't know. I'm figuring out how Steam works right now.
3 hours later.
God damn it, Chip's Challenge won.
And just challenged it. There, that's it. We've done it.
Should you have a
last time
super
I
cut
had,
of
like-
us clapping? So you're like, wait.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
The weakest fucking clap I've ever heard.
No one told me life was gonna be this way. Thank you for listening to NOCLIP.
What are we talking about next time?
I don't know.
What?
Goodbye. So last time we did an outro, and then I had like 4 outros at the end of the episode because there were a lot of fucked up outros. So you want to do an outro so I can repeat that joke?
Might as well.
All right. Thanks for listening to that shit. Anyway, see you later.
Nothing else. We can't do anything else. Yeah, I hope you like podcasts. Fuck off. Goodbye.
Thanks for wasting your time, idiot.
We made 0.6% off of ad revenue. You piece of trash.
Make sure to like us on...
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button, dumbass.
If you can locate it, you idiot, hit the subscribe button.
It's the red one, you illiterate douchebag.
And if by some miracle you can spell, you can go ahead and leave a comment.
God, we bought microphones and a mixer to record that. That's good enough for me.
Yep.
Shut it down.